This gets a little on some people's nerves to bring out the fact that the land of Jesus Christ, the land of the birth of Jesus Christ, doesn't tolerate the existence of Christians any longer in it. Or else they would have been there. The 20% would have remained 20%. Why did 17% of the 20% leave Palestine? If there is this affinity that some strains of the evangelical movement in the United States believes in between Judaism and Christianity, then why can't they live together? Why can't Christians live with these types of Zionist Jews in Palestine? It's a legitimate question. And we can't just dismiss it by wishful thinking. It's a fact of life. What happened? Ask them. When was the last time you listened to a Palestinian Christian speak to you about what's happening in the Holy Land? I'm not here. This is the first time I come to Towson University. I haven't been here before. But I can almost, in a matter of emphatic confidence, tell you, you haven't heard one Palestinian Christian come to you here and speak to you about what is happening on the ground in the Holy Land. And if I'm wrong, you tell me I'm wrong. You tell me of the name of the Christian Palestinian, whether he is a priest or whether he is any type of clergy personality. Who was he? Okay, this is not the way it works. They're not allowed to speak. So when we come back and we ask and we try to get a grip on why is there a conflict between the native people of Palestine on one hand and these Zionist occupiers who came and stole the Holy Land? Because Zionism is a racist, expansionist, exclusivist, and a type of colonialist occupying regime. That's the problem. In blunt words, something no one wants to say. That's where the problem is. The problem isn't that Muslims, like you hear in the media, the same media that gives you all of these fancy words to decorate the theft of the Holy Land, that same media comes and tells you that the Muslims want to throw the Jews into the sea. Nonsense. Preposterous. Silly. Muslims have, look, Muslims are not angels. We have our faults, we have our deficiencies. And I'm very harsh on our own selves. I'm so harsh on our own selves that I can't go and pray in my own local Islamic Center in Washington, D.C. So I don't want anyone here to come and lecture me on how Muslims have their mistakes. I'm up front. I'm as frank about my own background, collective affiliation mistakes as I am about the mistakes of those who say that they are Christians but find no fault with imperialism, or say that they are Jews and find no fault with Zionism. I invite you to where I am to expose and clean your house the same way I'm trying to clean our own house. Let me remind you in history, and I don't want to digress, but just to make the point that Muslims are not the type who are going to ethnically cleanse a people or are going to expel a population because there's a difference of religion. Muslims could have done that in history, and they could have had a rationale for doing that. Jews and Muslims together were expelled from Andalusia, from the Iberian subcontinent, what is called today Spain and Portugal. We suffered the same fate, Muslims and Jews. Muslims had control of their own territories in North Africa, in the Holy Land, what is called the Levant, the area that we're looking at right now, Palestine, Lebanon, Syria, and Jordan. And there was a numerical presence of Christians there. Wouldn't it have been common sense to say, look, if you're going to throw us out of Iberia, you meaning those who have this religious discrimination, then we're going to do the same thing. We're going to practice religious discrimination, and we are going to expel you from Lebanon, from Palestine, and these areas. But we did no such thing. It never happened. If we wanted to take this issue in a sense of a locality, why can't Muslims and Jews live together in Palestine or in the Holy Land? Why can't Muslims, Christians, and Jews live together? Muslims are not the ones who are building fences to say we don't want to encounter the other people. We don't want to see them. We don't want to associate with them. We don't want to share any restaurants or any public areas with them. It's not the Muslims who are doing this. It's these people who have this Zionist, racist, separatist mentality and policies that are doing this. How do you build a barrier? There's a barrier that is being built 400 miles long between what is called Israel and the Palestinians. You think about it for a moment. What is all of this about? If you have a problem of race in the United States, for example, the way we're going to overcome that problem is to build a wall between whites and blacks? Is that going to solve the issue? Oh, this is what the